It's Tuesday, August 23rd, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with Frank Granito. We'll have the latest Connecticut news for you today, including a silver alert issued for a Shelton man, a dog walker that was caught on camera beating one of the animals he was supposed to be taking care of, some local swimming areas closed today, and a lot more. Frank Granito will have your Nutmeg Sports update and a look at the forecast for the week. And Frank, who usually unsuccessfully guesses each day what will be in Donald Ng's Look Back on This Day in History, will get to deliver the history to you coming up in the show later on. But first, on to today's news. 2 Bridgeport residents have been charged with the sex trafficking of a minor. Deirdre M. Daly, United States Attorney for the District of Connecticut, says that between November 2014 and May 2016, Daryl Morris, 32 years old, also known as King Sincere, and 26-year-old Nashea Dozier conspired to recruit, harbor, and transport a minor to engage in sex acts, and that Morris did so with force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion. Morris and Dozier are charged with 1 count of conspiracy to commit sex trafficking of a minor and 1 count of sex trafficking of a minor, offenses that carry a mandatory minimum term in prison of 10 years and a maximum term of life. Morris is also charged with 1 count of sex trafficking by force, fraud, and coercion and could face up to 15 years in prison and a maximum of life. There's more on that story at the Deirdre M. Daly's website, the United States Attorney. And in other news today, a silver alert has been issued for 49-year-old Cosmina Cariello of Shelton. Cariello is described as a white male with black hair and brown eyes. He stands about 6 feet tall and weighs about 210 pounds. Authorities said that Cariello was last seen wearing blue jeans and a black t-shirt with the words "The Walking Dad" written on it. They said he might be driving a red 2003 Chrysler Voyager minivan with a Connecticut license plate of 958ZPM. Cariello went missing Monday. Anyone with information about his whereabouts can contact Shelton Police at 203-924-1544. And in other news today, a teenage dog walker was arrested after police say he was spotted on camera beating one of the animals that he was paid to walk. The Connecticut Post reports that 18-year-old Xavier Zurles of Hugh Avenue was charged with cruelty to animals and interfering with police after state police monitoring Interstate 95 cameras saw him repeatedly beating and kicking a dog. On August 17th, state police received a call from a driver of a man beating a dog in a grass area alongside the turnpike near Nichols Street. State police say they checked the roadway surveillance cameras and saw the man, later identified as Surles, hold a black dog on a leash while he repeatedly beat and kicked it. Police said the dog was cowering as it was hit and was struck and did not appear aggressive at all. When troopers pulled up to the scene, police said Surles began yelling and screaming at them and then struggled with officers. Police said the dog, Grizzly, belongs to a disabled man who pays Surles $10 a day to walk the dog. And the Hartford Courant reports that the first employees of General Electric moved into the company's new Boston headquarters Monday. As the conglomerate begins the process of exiting the Fairfield campus it's occupied for 42 years. You're seeing some renderings of that new campus that GE has shared. About 150 to 175 employees will work from GE's interim headquarters, with a total of 300 to 350 by the end of the year. The permanent headquarters campus is set to open in 2018. Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker, Boston Mayor Marty Walsh, and GE Chief Executive Officer Jeff Immelt and employees marked the opening at a small ceremony. GE will rehabilitate 2 brick buildings and construct a 12-story building. More on that at hartfordcurrent.com. And a tree falling on power lines in New Canaan Monday afternoon caused some major power problems. Nearly 400 New Canaan residents were without power at 3 p.m. Monday after a massive tree fell, knocking over a utility pole at the intersection of Forest Street and Heritage Hill Road near Route 123. The tree that came down not only took down lines, as you can see, but also resulted in 4 damaged utility poles and equipment, according to an Eversource spokesman. And if you're going out to the beach today, some local state swimming areas are closed due to high bacteria count in the water. The State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection reports that Silver Sand State Park in Milford and Indian Wells State Park in Shelton are closed to swimmers today. Elsewhere in the state, Kettletown State Park in Southbury, Wadsworth Falls State Park in Middlefield, and Wharton Brook State Park in Wallingford are also closed. And according to the Darien Times, a New Jersey man was charged with disorderly conduct following a heated exchange with fellow guests at a Darien party on August 21st. Police arrested 27-year-old David Hobbs of Hamilton, New Jersey at a Morley Lane home just after 4:30 in the morning. Guests at the party called police on Hobbs after he allegedly grabbed 2 knives from the home's kitchen. According to police, Hobbs had become upset after seeing a female partygoer talking to other people. He began asking others at the party if they had ever been in a fight before and agitating the other guests. Hobbs told police he went and got the knives from the kitchen after another man at the party said he had duct tape, $4,000, and could make him disappear. While speaking to police, the other man said said the phrase in the heat of the moment and did not have the duct tape or the money with him. Police charged Hobbs with disorderly conduct, and he was released on a $250 bond. And Connecticut and national average gas prices are creeping slowly upward after nearly 8 weeks of decline. On August 22nd, Connecticut's average gas price of $2.26 has increased 4 cents compared to this time last week, a slow climb that started late last week. Nationally, the average price of a gallon of gasoline also increased by 4 cents from the $2.16 average from last week. In both cases, however, average gas prices are still significantly lower to this time last year. But let's switch gears now and throw it over to Frank Granito for a look at the forecast. Frank, it's been beautiful so far.
And it's going to stay that way, Kate. Another gorgeous day out there with plenty of sun and very little humidity as we see temperatures once again sitting in the high 70s now for a second day in a row. Clear skies later on this evening and overnight as we have an expected low of 61 degrees. Humidity up around 70% as we might see temperatures start to climb up a little bit more now in the midweek. Tomorrow will be mostly sunny as we can expect clear skies from dusk until dawn. Temperatures in the mid to high 80s during the day with occasional wind gusts right around 8 to 10 miles per hour. Clear skies on Wednesday evening and an expected low of 65 degrees overnight as we will see some cloud cover then move in the early morning as they will stick around with us for Thursday. On and off intervals of clouds and sun throughout the day on Thursday with temperatures right around 88 degrees. Occasional wind gusts up around 10 miles per hour again in the afternoon. And we'll see more clouds move in during the evening and mostly cloudy, it appears, Thursday night as that cloud cover will roll into Friday morning. And Kate, we might see a little more humidity on the rise and maybe an afternoon shower or thunderstorm on Friday, but again, just going to be an absolutely perfect and beautiful week out there.
Awesome. All right, sounds good, Frank. Well, we are going to step out for a break. When we come back, Frank is going to give us this day in history. He also has a Nutmeg Sports update, and we have some more local news coming up after this. For more than 50 years, Triple S has been Fairfield County's expert service for carpet, upholstery, and drapery cleaning. We provide the best in repairs and in-depth restoration, understanding fabrics and how to properly clean and restore them. Our staff will come to your home to clean your wall-to-wall carpet to perfection. We can also pick up your fine carpets and bring them to our facilities. With locations in Norwalk, Stamford, and Stratford, Triple S will get the job done fast, big or small. At Triple S, you can count on our people as well as our cleaning. Find us at triplesclean.com or 203-847-8000.
Warm weather, light breezes, boats are in the water. There's no better place to celebrate summer than the Dock Shop. Whether in Darien at 51 Tokenique Road or Westport at 609 Riverside Avenue, the Dock Shop is where you'll find everything you need to kick off summer. From the latest summer apparel to the newest fishing tackle, the Dock Shop will help you get the most out of your next beach day or harbor cruise. At the Dock Shop, you'll find a wonderful selection of items made in the USA and right here in New England, all with a distinct nautical flair. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the coastal lifestyle, this is a unique place to shop. DockShop.com.
A Better View Window Cleaning Plus has been cleaning glass all over Connecticut for over 20 years. They also specialize in cleaning chandeliers, mirrors, skylights, tiles, and will power wash anything that needs cleaning. They hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and are fully insured and bonded. When you deal with a Better View, you're dealing with the best. not the rest. Call today for a free estimate, 203-284-8836, or visit them online, abetterviewcleaning.com.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter, and I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune into Yankee Fishermen, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
I'm Frank Granito.
And I'm Donald Ing for the HAN Network.
Tune in to Nutmeg Sports Monday through Wednesday, where we bring you all the top stories for Connecticut sports.
From players and coaches' interviews to expert opinions with local sports editors, no one gets you closer to Connecticut's games than Nutmeg Sports.
Nutmeg Sports, Monday through Wednesday at 2 p.m. on the HAN Network.
We're back on this Tuesday, August 23rd edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and we're going to throw it to Frank Granito today to take a look back on this date in history. Don still prepared this day in history, but you're delivering it today, Frank.
Yes, thank you, Kate. 4 stories in history today, and I successfully guessed none of them correctly. Well, we start in the year 79, when Mount Vesuvius begins stirring on the feast day of Vulcan, the Roman god of fire. The residents of Pompeii and Herculaneum and a few other towns hear the rumbling, but the area had experienced periodic earthquakes for centuries and nothing bad had happened. Next we go to the year 1305, where Sir William Wallace is executed for high treason at Smithfield in London. If you saw Braveheart, you only got about half of the horror that was experienced. The torment actually went on for almost a full day as Wallace was hung, cut down while still alive, emasculated, eviscerated, and then had his entrails lit on fire, all while he was still alive. Then his body was quartered and decapitated, and his head placed on London Bridge. That is a lot.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Sounds very unpleasant.
25 years ago today, in 1991, Tim Berners-Lee opens the World Wide Web to new users. Berners-Lee was an engineer at CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, when he saw an opportunity to develop real-time computer networking. That's the first website right there, which gives information on what exactly the web is. And finally, we go to 1973, where there was this. And that video there was the arrest of bank robber Jan Erik Olsson, who on this day attempted to rob a bank in Stockholm, Sweden. But unfortunately, the botched job turned into a hostage crisis over the next 5 days, where the hostages began to sympathize with their captors, leading to the term of Stockholm Syndrome. In fact, in the years after the robbery, one of the hostages maintained regular correspondence with Olsson's accomplice, and their families became friends. Kate, some would argue that the past 2 weeks, the three of us might be developing Stockholm Syndrome, being stuck in the studio.
We are excited to be going out on our FCAC tour, Frank, which starts on Thursday. I know you're going to be talking more about that on Nutmeg, but what else is going on in local sports?
Well, also a GoFundMe page has been started for 19-year-old Milford, Connecticut native Danielle Kemp. Kemp, who was a foreign high school alum and current Division I student athlete at Stony Brook in Long Island, was playing softball this summer for the Stratford Brackettes. In early July, Danny was hit by a pitch in the helmet during an at-bat. As a few weeks passed, Danny began experiencing balance problems, trouble focusing, and dizziness. Doctors had initially thought that it was a concussion, but after an MRI was ordered, they realized this was not the case. She was sent to Yale New Haven Hospital, where Danny and her family were informed that she has an inoperable brain tumor in the pons region of her brain. Due to the location, surgery is not an option. Danny will begin radiation therapy on August 29th and will receive this treatment for 6 weeks. The team of doctors at Yale is still working to come up with the best plan of care to continue after the 6 weeks of radiation. The family is very hopeful for new clinical trials that should be available in the near future. For more information, you can go to GoFundMe.com and search Danny Kemp's Cancer Support Fund. It was also on the screen earlier. That was the page that you saw. We talked about getting out of the office. Don't forget that the Fall FCX Tour begins on Thursday this week when the HAN Cruiser will be making all 17 stops at the FCX high schools, and we will meet with their fall sports captains. Donald Lang and I will actually preview the first 8 schools on today's episode of Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock. And Kate, we will also have a very big announcement on Nutmeg Sports this afternoon about the HAN's new cable partnership. So make sure that you tune into Nutmeg Sports to find out the newest way that you'll be able to stream all of our live sports broadcasts.
This is very exciting. Less than a year after the HAN network officially formed, we have a big announcement
coming. It will be a lot of fun. We're very excited about that. So yes, that's at Nutmeg Sports at 2 o'clock today. Make sure you tune in for that.
Awesome. All right. Thanks so much, Frank. In other news, State Representative John Chabin is hosting a panel on Connecticut's opioid addiction issue at Weston Town Hall on Wednesday, August 31st. Opioids are medications that relieve pain, but in recent years, their abuse has become a nationwide problem, leading to many overdoses. Opioids include codeine, oxycodone, morphine, and heroin. That panel will begin at 6:30 in the evening and end at 8 o'clock. The panelists will discuss opioid addiction issues in the area, and the public is invited to attend this informative roundtable. For a list of the panelists, you can check eastoncourier.com. Representative Chabin is challenging Congressman Jin Himes for the 4th Congressional District in the upcoming November elections. And in Ridgefield, 4 5th graders from Ridgebury Elementary School, Georgia Milton, Brooke Minor, Eden O'Malley, and Maddie Pickett will be holding a bake sale on Wednesday from 11 to 1 p.m. on Main Street near Planet Pizza. And the money raised will go toward 8-year-old Ridgefield resident Brooke Blake, who was diagnosed in December with a rare form of pediatric cancer called DIPG. Brooke is currently battling to beat the odds by participating in a clinical trial at the Children's Brain Tumor Project at the Weill Cornell Brain and Spine Center. This is a photo of Brooke and her family, and you can get more information on that bake sale at theridgefieldpress.com. And Tony Award-winning actor Robert Sean Leonard, best known for TV's House, the film Dead Poets Society, and Broadway's Long Day's Journey into Night, will portray King Arthur in Lerner and Loewe's Camelot, a take on the classic musical at the Westport Country Playhouse. The show runs from October 4th through October 30th. Playhouse artistic director Mark Lamos will direct what is being described as a reimagined version of that classic 1960 musical, with Lerner's book adapted by David Lee. The show tells the story of how King Arthur's dream for a round table of noble knights working for the good of the kingdom is threatened when his queen Guinevere falls in love with one of the knights. For more information and to buy tickets, you can visit westportplayhouse.org. And we are going to step out for a break now, but when we come back, we have the top stories we're following today. And if you love pumpkin spice lattes, Connecticut State Police don't want to hear about it. But we're going to be telling you more about that when we come back. Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
Hi, this is Leo Carl from Karl Chevrolet in New Canaan. And you've heard me talk about the Chevy Volt for years. The new model gets 53 miles on EV charge daily, plus 420-mile full range. But don't take my word for it. You need to come in and test drive the Volt yourself. Visit us at 261 Elm Street in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan is your time-saving local shopping destination for the best of spring. Find many of your favorite products, from great specials on everyday items to the freshest organic produce, artisanal cheeses, and grass-fed steaks. Drop off your knives to be sharpened, grab a beautiful bouquet of spring flowers, and stop in next door for a wine tasting. Plus, their personable staff is always ready to lend a helping hand. So stop in to Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street today, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. The construction is incredible, whether it's the floors, the fireplace, the moldings, the lighting. It's as peaceful as my home was in the middle of the woods. It feels like a house. It does not feel like a condo or a townhome. I feel like I'm in my house.
You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. More than 1.5 million viewers have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment broadcasting since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
We're back on this Tuesday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, following some of the top local headlines, including that 2 Bridgeport residents have been charged with sex trafficking of a minor. Deirdre M. Daly, United States Attorney for the District of Connecticut, says that between November 2014 and May 2016, 32-year-old Daryl Morris, otherwise known as King Sincere, and 26-year-old Nashea Dozier conspired to recruit, harbor, and transport a minor to engage in sex acts, and that Morris did so with force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion. Morris and Dozier are charged with 1 count of conspiracy to commit sex trafficking of a minor and 1 count of sex trafficking of a minor. Those are offenses that carry a mandatory minimum term of 10 years in prison and a maximum term of life. And a silver alert has been issued for Cosmina Cariolo, 49 years old, of Shelton. Cariolo is described as a white male with black hair and brown eyes. He stands about 6 feet tall and weighs 210 pounds. Authorities said Cariolo was last seen wearing blue jeans and a black t-shirt with words that read, "The Walking Dad." They said he might be driving a red 2003 Chrysler Voyager minivan with the Connecticut license plate 958ZPM. Cariolo went missing on Monday, and anyone with information on his whereabouts can contact Shelton Police at 203-924-1544. And in other news, a teenage dog walker was arrested after police said he was spotted on camera beating one of the animals he was paid to walk. The Connecticut Post reports that 18-year-old Xavier Surles of Howe Avenue was charged with cruelty to animals and interfering with police after state police monitoring Interstate 95 cameras saw him repeatedly beating and kicking a dog. On August 17th, state police had received a call from a motorist that there was a man beating a dog in the grass area alongside the turnpike near Nichols Street. State police said they then checked that roadway surveillance camera and saw a man, later identified as Surles, hold a black dog on a leash while he repeatedly beat and kicked it. Police said the dog was cowering as it was hit and struck and did not appear aggressive. When troopers pulled up to the scene, police said Surles began yelling and screaming at them and struggled with officers. Police say the dog, named Grizzly, belongs to a disabled man who pays Surles $10 a day to walk the dog. And the Hartford Courant reports that the first employees of General Electric moved into the company's new Boston headquarters Monday as the conglomerate begins the process of exiting the Fairfield campus where it's been for 42 years. You're seeing some renderings of that new Boston campus that's planned. About 150 to 175 employees will work from GE's interim headquarters, with a total of 300 to 350 by the end of the year. The permanent headquarters campus will be set up in 2018. And finally, Connecticut State Police want you to be aware of a new law that they're calling an act concerning fall madness. State police joked on social media, posting a photo and saying that it will now be a finable offense to engage in or post on social media about activities related to the season commonly known as fall or autumn until at least September 22nd. They say this infraction includes but is not limited to posting about Halloween, pumpkin spice anything, sweatshirts, boots with fur, pumpkin carvings, leaf peeping, hay rides, and more. Posting anything about the winter season, they say, will double those fines. State police said while they are just joking, they do want everyone to enjoy the warm weather while it lasts. And Frank, I have to say, it felt a little bit like fall this morning.
It did. It was kind of nice, especially coming off 2 months of just pure heat. We'll have another perfect day out there with plenty of sun and temperatures in the mid to high 70s. Clear sky this evening and overnight with an expected low of 61 degrees. Tomorrow we'll see much of the same with plenty of sun all day long and temperatures right around 85 degrees. Some cloud cover moves in late on Wednesday night, and that'll hang around until Thursday morning as we see temperatures start to climb a little bit before the weekend with on and off sun throughout the day and temperatures right around 88 degrees during the afternoon. Again, we could see a shower or a storm later on this week, Kate, but you are right. Enjoy this weather while it lasts. It's going to be a great week.
That's right. All right. Well, Frank, well, thank you so much. We're going to wrap things up here on your coffee break, but coming up live at 12:30, The Drive with Denise. Her guest, Larry Bingaman, who is the CEO of the South Central Connecticut Regional Water Authority, will talk conscious capitalism. And of course, as Frank mentioned, Nutmeg Sports coming up at 2, a big announcement that we're very excited about here at the HAN Network.
It'll be a lot of fun.
And we will see you tomorrow at 11 for coffee break. Enjoy the day.